Okay, so today we introduce you to SketchUp modeling. SketchUp is a very fun program to create 3D object. As you can see here, I have used SketchUp to make this dream house. Okay, as you can see, when you start off SketchUp, you will see a figure. It's very important to have these figures to as a reference to the size of the model you're creating. As you can see, the figure stands as a scale reference to this model I'm creating. So whatever you made, you can always refer to how big in reference to this figure. And now that you see, I have already made a 3D model of a house. I'm going to try to replicate this process for you, so you will see how easy to create 3D models in SketchUp. I'm using a version of the SketchUp Pro 2017, but you can use a newer version, the latest version. It's have similar functions. As you can see, there are a list of these tools on top at the menu, and I'm using a turning function too, so that I can turn my model within this space here. And when you start SketchUp, you will always see a horizon line here and the three axes, so that you get a sense of the coordination and the orientation of your model. Right, this is the vertical x-axis and z and y-axis. Alright, so I will try to move this model aside and recreate another version of this. You can use the hand tools to move the object, and you can use the magnifying glass to zoom in, or you can just rotate your mouse view, the middle view, to zoom in. And to start SketchUp, the mostly used item would be creating a plane right on the floor. Just like here, I will create a plane, and as you can see, you draw the plane on the floor. Alright, and now this plane maybe is a little bit too small, so what I can do is that I can use eraser to get rid of it, right? And you can see that I can click with the eraser and this plane is gone. And let me just recreate another one similar in size to the first one. Okay, so once you create this plane, is aligned with the x and y axis, right? It's a rectangular plane, as you can see. Now, how do I create a box like this? What I can do is to use the most important tool in SketchUp, which is the extract or the push-pull tools. Okay, and you click on it, and when you move towards the plane, you can see that it's being highlighted like this. And once it's highlighted, you click on it, and then it can pull up an object. You see, right? Like that. It's about the same height. And now this is a solid. This is a solid piece of of the rectangle. But in order to create these openings, what I can do is click on the plane making, and on this side of the rectangle I draw another rectangle like that. Okay, and you can see that this is being drawn as a kind of thickness. It doesn't matter how thick this is because it can be adjusted later. So I'm going to use the push-pull tools again. So I'm just going to push in, and you can see that a space is being created. And near the end, you sort of snapped, and now I'm going to do it again. Use this. You highlight this part instead of this, and then you keep pushing in. And now at the end, you can see that it turns blue, and when you see this blue dotted line, it means that it snapped on the other side of the face, and then it will open up, right? So I can see the other side. And you can continue to use the push-pull tools to adjust the thickness of the wall if you like that, right? You can see that I can use the push-pull tool to really adjust the thickness, just like this wall here. And I can continue to create openings with this plane here, such as this window. I'm going to just do it right here, creating a window. As you can see, the window, all these lines are parallel, right, to the larger lines. So this is very handy in creating objects like that. So I'm doing the same thing again. So it opens up, and I will create another window here. Once again, I do that so that it snapped open. And I can create round objects like this, right? So I use the arc tools. There are several types of arc tools. I can use a 2-point, so I can just create something like that, and then pull out a round arc, and then I can do this again, and then I do that. Now I create a kind of strange round openings here, and then I can do the same thing here, and then I open up a sort of similar windows. Alright, so now that I already create the first floor, alright, now before I create a second floor, what I should do is that in order for it not to mix up with the other models, what I will do is that I select the whole of it and right click, okay, to make group, to group it up, okay, so it become one piece. Alright, so it become one piece. So you have this model that it's one unit. Now we're going to try to do the upper floor model. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. We'll create a rectangular plane here, similar to this, almost the same size, and we pull up again, almost a little bit the same height. All right, as you can see, the openings is on the side. So what we're going to do is create a rectangular opening on this side here, and using the push-pull tools again, we go all the way. Now as you can see, you want to be able to see the other side, otherwise your push-pull tools won't be pushing it right to the other plane. As you can see, the dotted line, and now it's opened like that. Alright. Okay, so we have this box, but as you can see that this box is a little bit narrower, so we can still use the push-pull tool to adjust this, such as this, right? And we notice that there is an opening on this side, so we do the same here. So we use the push-pull tools. Okay. On the other hand, we see that there is a round kind of opening from the first floor. Right? So so we may as well create that around about at this place. So we use the arc tool. We can use the first thing. Okay, so we do this. So basically you create a round circle and use the push-pull tool to snap it open like that. Alright. Okay, so we have this round space. Now as you can see, this floor also needs to be opened up, right? Because it will have the openings that go through. So we will make a round space also here. Okay. So in order to do that, we have to sort of go back into the group of this box. So we double click until we see this mesh here, so that actually you reach that part of the model. And we do the same thing here, and we open up this again. We snap open. Alright, and then we click back out from the group, and we probably want to do something similar to this box here by grouping it. Okay. Like that, and right click to make group. Okay, so in order to put this box on top of this, we need to move this. Okay, so while this is selected, we use the move tool. This is move. We can move it like that. Alright, but in order to turn it, we need to first use the turning tool to turn it. So what we do is that we find an anchor point that lined up with this, and put a line out here and click and turn 90 degree. As you can see, you can snap, right? You can snap to 90 degree. Alright, and as you can see here, I can already start to move. You can see that I can move this way or that way, or I can move it up, right? I can click here, and then it sort of goes along a certain line that you can move this up here. Okay, and then you can move this to the appropriate. Now the opening seems to be here. Okay, so it's a bit on the side. Maybe I should go this way. Okay. So the opening should be on this side here, but it doesn't matter, so it's similar. So now that you can see that the box is being placed on top, right? And you can see that I have some columns that comes up from there. So basically the columns can be created by drawing a round circle on the ground and use the push-pull tools to just push it up there like that. Right? I have another columns that go that way, probably on that side, so I use the same thing to create a round thing. make it smaller, and push it through. So this column is a little bit off. Okay, so what we do is that we should select the entire column. Okay, make sure that you select the entire column and not just part of it. Move it a little bit. And we want to move the column. Okay, but before so, we need to group it in order for it to move properly. Otherwise, you'll be only moving it in pieces. So we need to group the column first, like that. Make it a group, and we can move it as one piece, right? Like that. Okay. Now, as you can see, I have these interesting glass structures here. Okay. And you can see that I have another opening on this side. So basically, I need to open up this. So what I can do is that I double click and go into the group again to create a opening here, and I can use this to open up in order to create a kind of glass pool here, and then I can comes back out. Alright. So there is a glass kind of railings. What I can do is that I can use the pen to draw out a kind of glass thing, and I can zoom really go in to create a thickness, right? For example, I don't want the glass to be too thick, so I just go right in to create a thickness of how I want the glass. So you can see that it goes all the way, that I can snap and I can pull up from here a kind of glass railings. Okay. And in order to create a glass pool, what I can do is I use this offset tool to create a, what I can do is this. I fill it up first, and I use the offset tool to create a sort of edge, right? And I can use the push-pull to select this part and actually pull out a kind of glass on this side. All right. And I can fill this up with another plane by clicking the corner. Like that. Alright, so basically I have a kind of box create within this kind of sunken box, right? Now in order to make the material as glass, I can, let me just choose this. Let me get back out there. Make it taller. Remember to zoom in order to do your details, right? This railing is still very low, so I need to pull it up again, make it higher. Okay. So in order to make this glass material, I should go to the material section, and we click on this brick texture palette, right? And in texture palette, you can see there are all kinds of material, simple material, and I like to go to glass mirrors. And as you can see, you go to this part, you notice a few of the glass. Let's say this one, translucent glass blue, and I can click on this, right? To, oops, make it too much. In order to see through, I need to be clicking on this side of the glass also, right? So you see this and this. So you see this whole piece as a glass. Now, and I should go into this group, otherwise the whole piece will be glass, right? So I have to go inside to select specific piece that I want to be glass, right? So I do this. I first select this piece first, glass, and I select this piece, glass. Okay, so I'm making the sign as glass, and I have to go to the other side to make it okay. Alright, and so you can see that this becomes this glass. Glass. Of course, you don't want just glass here. You want some kind of water, right? So you probably want to pull this up a little bit and make this water. Okay. So I go to the water tab, and you can see this. There are waters. Okay, make this water. Okay. All right. So now you have water and the pool. And this is also glass. You have to come back out. Okay. And Now you have this box up there, so probably I need to create a kind of box. Okay. And then here. And then make it smaller. Okay. And again, remember to group it first, okay, before you move it. Make group. Now, if you want to make this smaller, what you then, after you make group, you can use the scale tool to scale it. You know, make it more smaller, bigger, however you want. I want to make it smaller and probably a little bit longer. Okay, right. You can adjust the kind of size that you want, like that. Okay, and I can place this up to the column here. Okay, probably a little bit too big, right? So I should make the box smaller to adjust to the scale here. I don't want to turn. I just want to pull it up a little bit. Yeah. Okay. You can see that I have some elaborate, very elaborate stairs. I'm not going to make that. Okay. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the 3D warehouse. Okay. I click on this, and then you open up the 3D warehouse windows, and then I can type. Okay. So you can see that it provides me with all kinds of stairs, alright, and I can choose one that I really like. For example, this looks interesting. Okay, I can keep searching until I find something I like. This one is interesting, so let me just download it. Okay, and I can import it right into the model. Okay, like that, right? And you can see that the scale is adjusted for me also. All I need is to turn it around. Oops. Right? To make it aligned with the, looks like my box is a little bit too high, so I need to just bring it down a little bit. Okay, and I need to probably push the column down by using this. Yep. Alright. You can see I can have the stairs. So all of these more complex models, you can use the 3D warehouse. For example, spiral stairs, staircase, and it will provide me with all these options, right? Now this is beautiful, so I'm going to use this one. Just import it right into the model. You can see that I can place my stairs here. It seems a bit too big. So maybe I should adjust this and move it just like that. So you get the idea, right? I can always search for objects from the 3D warehouse that complement my my model. Okay, and now that you can see that the house is almost done, similar to this one. Right here, I even have a car here, which you can always go to the 3D warehouse to find something that you like, right? Race car. So here, something interesting, or even if you want a Porsche, right? Okay, so you have this nice Porsche here. This one is good. So I will import it. Alright. And I can put the Porsche here. Alright. So your dream house is almost done. Alright. And when you're done, you should select the whole piece, right, and group it. Make group. And then you can export it as a 3D model, either as FBX file, OBJ, right, or DAE to the Unity 3D engine. Okay, I would suggest doing DAE or OBJ because I would suggest doing all the texture in Unity engine instead of here. Some of these texture may not transfer very well, and also you can see that these texture are kind of generic, not really very nice, right? And also some of the more complex objects like the person here or a chair, right? You don't need to model it. All you need is to search on the 3D warehouse online so that you can import all kinds of free model to your SketchUp, right? So that you can make your model even more interesting by placing objects, right? It's not a matter of how you made the model, but it's the matter of the combination of things or ideas, right, that make your virtual world interesting. So here is your start in creating the 3D model, and the next step would be exporting this to the game engine so that you can actually navigate and walk around within your dream house. So thank you for attending this. I hope you have fun and enjoy creating your dream house. Thank you.